In school, you learned how to think like an engineer. But did you ever develop all the skills you need to navigate your career and create the opportunities you deserve? Stay tuned. Before I begin, you're probably wondering, who is this guy and why should I be listening to him? I'm Doug Howard. I'm a licensed engineer and engineering manager with 15 years of experience successfully mentoring and growing a department of 5 people and transforming it into a 40-person department. But early in my career, I relied too heavily on my technical skills. As an engineer, I ran circles around my peers and I thought it would get me ahead, but the only thing it got me was more work and frustration. And it's why I started this YouTube channel, dedicated to helping engineers like you build the right skills to take control of your career and create the opportunities you deserve. And I focus on teaching you how to shortcut through the obstacles I faced earlier in my career. And if this sounds like something you'd be interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Today, I'm going to explain why most engineers are lacking a key skill that you need to navigate your career. Think back to your education, grade school through your highest level of education. How many classes did you take in science, math, writing, literature, history? Now consider how many classes you've taken related to listening, interpersonal communication, empathy, the core areas of social skills. For most people, probably none. Which is fine for people who aren't naturally logical because it helps them become more balanced. For example, it forces someone who isn't naturally strong in science or math to develop the ability to take logic into account. But how does this type of education system affect naturally logical people, like engineers? When the majority of your curriculum is logic-based and without many soft skills-based classes to counterbalance logic during this developmental stage in your life, it basically teaches engineers like you to double down on logic and continue leaning on it more heavily. Now think about engineering school courses, Calculus 3, differential equations, physics, thermodynamics. By the time you graduate from college, you've gone from heavily leaning to over-dependent on using logic. And there's little to no room for you to take emotions into consideration. Quick tangent. Do you find this topic interesting or helpful or insightful? Let me know by hitting that like button. Okay, so the main thing I want to point out to you is that your natural preference is to consider logic over emotions. But your environment and education taught you to heavily lean on logic and ignore emotions. But anything that is learned can be unlearned and relearned. And as an engineer, you're most comfortable with applying objective logic, and you aren't naturally comfortable with considering emotions, other people's emotions, or your own. This is one of the core reasons why most engineers aren't naturals when it comes to social skills. And it's a problem because social skills matter most. In fact, they matter more than any technical skill when it comes to career growth, career advancement, creating opportunities, getting awarded opportunities. Why? Well, for one simple reason. Your logic and your technical skills really don't matter if you can't win the other person over. Think you deserve that raise or promotion? Doesn't matter if your boss disagrees. Are you qualified for the job you want? Well, it doesn't matter if you can't convince the interviewers. You see what I mean? Factors such as being correct or what's fair really don't matter if you can't convince the other person, the decision maker. It was a tough pill to swallow, but relying only on my technical skills was getting me nowhere in my career. So I got over it and I began learning how to leverage social skills to my advantage. And I quickly noticed the full impact these skills were having in every area of my life. So I used my engineering skills to develop more ways to systematize this and take it further. And as an engineering manager, I've mentored many engineers, building close relationships with them and helping them find their path. And I've helped them overcome the same obstacles you're facing in your career. And believe it or not, I rarely needed to help them with technical skills. So I focused more on helping them in the areas where they struggled the most and the areas where the skills didn't really come natural to them, the skills that weren't necessarily emphasized in engineering school. And it was typically people skills because it didn't come natural to them. Before I continue, I want to know if you think social skills come natural to you. Let me know in the comments. A common misconception is that when it comes to social skills, you either got it or you don't. But I can guarantee you that social skills are skills that can be learned, and they can be learned by anyone. And just like learning anything that isn't natural to you, it requires training and some temporary discomfort. Compare it to learning how to ride a bike. When you take a step back actually and think about it, there's a lot of complexities that go into riding a bike. Speed, balance, turning, braking, watching for obstacles and bumps. And when you think about ancient mankind, riding a bike isn't a natural motion for humans either. It requires a lot of fluidity. Getting on a bike was very awkward and uncomfortable at first, but it eventually got easier each time, and at some point it became automatic, where you're not even thinking about it. That is, unless you were never taught how to ride a bike. Well, the same correlation is true with engineers and social skills. If you're a highly logical engineer, then considering other people's perspectives and feelings most likely doesn't come natural to you. And that's okay. It just means that you need to proactively develop this ability. And if you want to learn how to improve your social skills and gain free step-by-step strategies, that is, strategies from an engineering manager, for taking your career to the next level, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm Doug Howard. Thanks for watching.